Village of Armada regular council meeting of August 28, 2023 to order, and please all rise for the pledge of allegiance to the flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Clerk, will please call the roll.
Shaw.
Here.
Clark.
Here.
Conan is absent. Adair. Here. Belkey.
Here.
Suds.
Here.
Baylor.
Yep. We have the agenda before the council.
Citizens comment.
No, first the agenda.
No, not tonight.
What is your pleasure on the agenda?
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the agenda as presented. Support.
Moved by Shaw, supported by Clark. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion's carried. We come to the point right now for citizens' comment. Is there any citizen who would like to make a comment from the council? Mr. Delecky.
If I'm sitting in the audience, I always have to make
Yeah, I know.
I thought you were here for Jimmy.
So I'd just like to thank you guys for honoring Jimmy.
Oh,
Thank you.
That's our pleasure.
yeah.
Anyone else? Okay. Tonight we have a presentation, a certificate of appreciation for Detective Sergeant James Sharp. Jim? Michelle?
I'm gonna read you a little story. Okay, certificate of appreciation presented August 28, 2023 to James Sharp. I'm gonna cry. This certificate is proudly presented in recognition and appreciation of 18 years of dedicated service to the Village of Armada in your position in law enforcement. Your time with the Armada Police Department has highlighted your outstanding morals and dedication to the residents of the Village of Armada. In your over 50 years as a dedicated officer of the law, 2 years with Detroit Police Department and 31 years with the Macomb County Sheriff's Department, you have shown professional, conscientious consideration and conduct, allowing you to reach the rank of Detective Sergeant in the Armada Police Department. The Village of Armada has been very fortunate to have had you to protect and serve our community. We, the Village Council and staff, are honored to have known and worked with you. We hope you find your retirement to be as distinguished as was your employment. I'll get it to him.
I'd like to just say a few words.
Well, I think you need a minute. Lyle, may I say a couple things?
Sure, go ahead.
Might I stand behind you so
Yes,
I'm
you may.
speaking up? Thank you. You don't mind if I say something, do you, Jimmy?
No, Howard, I'm having too much fear of it.
For those of you who don't know me, I'm Howard. Got this nice shirt from Detective Sergeant Sharp. Want to thank Mary Ann. You've got to be a saint. Jimmy's wife, Mary Ann. His daughter, Jamie. Where's Justin? Justin's back there. His son-in-law, thank you. The grandkids here, Julie, Joanne. Thank you. Your grandpa needs all the support he can get. Jimmy started in 1972, DPD. He was in number 12, which is Woodward and 7 Mile. Tough road to hoe down there. Went to the Macomb County Sheriff's Office there from 1979 to 2005. And he was the senior FTO, Field Training Officer, which maybe that's why Macomb County Sheriff's the way it is. And Jimmy was the North End champ out here. And if you've ever ridden the dirt with Jimmy, that's a scary darn thing. So when I got here, I heard stories about Jimmy. One, he made a felony arrest with Chief Joe on Church Street. Probably did a pretty good job. except another legacy here. Paul Shoemaker had to tell Jimmy that he had parked incorrectly according to the motor vehicle code, and maybe he should watch that next time. Yes, absolutely.
And his tabs were expired.
Yeah. I was actually with Danny Hall that night.
Oh, were you?
No.
So Chief Joe, when I came on, with a twinkle in his eye, said to me, "I'm leaving you 2 legacies." He says, "But they both bring something to the table." He said, "Andrew Cubitt is good at IT, he's good at records keeping, he's good at compliance, he's good at making sure that, the shifts are covered, he's just a great guy."
Absolutely.
And
Yep.
Jimmy Sharp's an acquired taste, and you will learn about Jimmy Sharp as you go on. So, Jimmy went on, he did a number of different things, but we had a middle school teacher who Jimmy put away for 50 years, who was assaulting a 13-year-old girl. Jimmy was serving a search warrant out in Richmond Township, and the lady said, "No, you can't come in. You guys are harassing my son-in-law to be. You can't come in." And Jimmy Sharp said, "Ma'am, you could step aside because I'm effectuating the search warrant, or you're going to jail, your choice." So she stepped aside, Jimmy went in. If I'm not mistaken, Jimmy, the wallpaper in the upstairs powder room matched illicit pictures that you had. And when she realized that it was her son, going to be son-in-law, that was the pervert, not Jimmy, that Jimmy was doing his job. Jimmy arrested the subway terrorist. Kid went in, threatened to kill everybody in the subway, including any patrons that might be there. And Jimmy sent him to prison on a terrorism warrant. I was in law enforcement for 38 years. And I was talking to Jimmy one day, and I get dispatched to a hog in the road on North Avenue, just at the South Village limits. Jimmy says, "Well, you know how to deal with that, don't you?" And I said, "No, Jimmy, I don't." I said, "At no point in time in my career or any of my training did anybody teach me how to deal with a hog on the road." And he said, "You better put a slug in that shotgun, and if that hog starts coming at you, you put that hog down." So I go, and the hog's not there. I can't find the hog. So I go in the first driveway, and here's this lady with an infant in her arm, hitting this hog with a switch, knocking the hog back in the pen. I called Jimmy back. I said, "This is what's going on." Jimmy goes, "Hog knows her, hog don't know you." So, who was the mayor, Jimmy? Who was the mayor?
Who's the mayor?
Yeah, Ray Drummond.
Oh, he-
Jimmy always called Ray Drummond the mayor. So somebody dropped bad paper on Ray, and Jimmy's going to get the guy. You don't do that. So these guys were manufacturing checks, and what they would do is they would pass the check, and then they would call back like 2-3 days later and say, "Could I come pass another one?" Well, if the check had already bounced, the store owner would go, "Hell no, I never want to see you right." But if they didn't know, they'd say, "Yeah, come on back." So as Jimmy did the investigation, we found out the Burrville Hotel had the same thing happen. So Jimmy calls the Burrville Hotel and says, "Hey, if these guys call back, tell them to come on down." So sure enough, and Jimmy also found out they're driving a stolen car out of Roseville. So as Jimmy's watching North Avenue, Fulton as you guys like to call it, and he's watching them come out, and here goes the stolen car, the 2 people in it. They go up to the Burrville Hotel. Jimmy follows them up there. They end up, the Burrville Hotel says, "Well, hang on, I gotta go back and get the cash." They call Jimmy. We go in, we arrest them up. The county sheriff comes down from St. Clair and says, "Geez, I'm overwhelmed. There's only 3 of us on tonight. I can't handle all this." Jimmy goes, We've got warrants for him. I saw him driving the stolen car in Armada. We'll take the whole thing. I'll send you the report in the morning. You guys can get your warrants with the report I write. Absolutely fantastic. So they cleared up not only ours, cleared up St. Clair County, cleared up 4 bad checks in Sandusky, Ohio. And when we were doing the April Millsap investigation, when the name Van Callis came up, Jimmy already knew he's the king of the North End. He already knew the guy was bad apple. He knew everything about the guy. And then the one last thing, I need group participation here. So this guy was, I believe he had a mortgage company here in Armada. What was his name?
Don Locke.
Don Locke. So Don Locke is on America's Most Wanted. And it comes out that there's a warrant out of Armada. It's our warrant. They end up calling us and saying, hey, this guy's living in a garage apartment at the back of this house. And we get the address and send the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office over. Jacksonville Sheriff's Office goes over, and sure enough, they scoop up Don Locke. And Jimmy, do you remember the sergeant's name down at the county?
Yeah, Larry King.
Larry King. So they call down. Larry King says, well, we can't authorize extradition. I said, no, but the prosecutor can, and we've already got authorization. All you have to do, you know, these 2 rollers in Jacksonville, Florida, have got this guy in the back seat. You just have to authorize. Authorize the warrant, authorize the extradition. So they do. And then the last thing he says to me, I think it was a Friday, he said, I'm going on vacation. You guys don't do a thing until Monday. Jimmy had that guy in lockup on Sunday, and he was arraigned on Monday. Jimmy, if I had a glass, here's to a brave warrior, here's to a good soldier, here's to a great street cop, here's to a fantastic investigator. Thank you, Detective Sergeant James R. Sharp.
How are you? He's forgetting one thing. He was sitting right in the office with me as we were going through the hoops to find those jackasses and lock them up. And he grabs up the girl with the stolen car.
Yeah, well, the other thing I forgot to mention was when we arrested the subway terrorist, the amount of glee you took when he told me, you don't have a sense of humor. How many times have you told me I don't have a sense of humor? Thank you, Jimmy.
Okay.
Thanks,
Jimmy,
Howard.
the floor is yours.
Mr. President, members of the board, Chief Marley, and the Armada Police Department representatives with us. which
And
means a
3
great-
former chiefs.
And
Yep.
and 3 former chiefs,
Yep.
and what it means to me to have you guys here. Thank you. And the residents of this community. I address you with neither rancor nor bitterness in the twilight of my life and in my health. Thank you for the last great honor of being allowed to protect and serve this community for the past 18 years. I stand before you with great pride, knowing that great leaders such as the legendary Marvin Wallach and Joe Golombuski stood in the same place I am. We must always remember their great, great contributions to this community. We must never forget them. I would not have been able to practice for all these decades without the countless sacrifices and support of my terrific wife, Mary Ann, and the encouragement of my children, Jamie and Justin, along with my grandchildren, Julie and Joanna. I must warn the men and women of law enforcement not to allow the political intercourse of the extreme far left or right to influence their decisions while maintaining law and order. We need only look at such cities as Portland and San Francisco to see what happens when law enforcement has allowed their decisions to be clouded by politics. The boards of the last 18 years in this community never once attempted to obstruct law enforcement. And I'm so proud of those boards, past and present.
Because we have good law enforcement.
Well, I hope you did.
We did.
I now close out my 51-year law enforcement career and will just fade away as an old street cop who tried to do his duty as God gave him the light to see that duty. Good night, and God bless America.
One more thing. Okay, I met you in July, 1st of July of 2021 when I came to work here part-time after I retired from Clinton Township, and you immediately showed me your friendship and your advice and
Don't follow it, Rich.
no more, Jimmy. We're not. I regret that I didn't have a chance to work with you in your flowery years with all your exploits. So, as a small token of appreciation from the Armada Police Department and the guys, past and present, you worked with, we'll give you a retirement badge for a retired sergeant from.
Unless anybody else has something to say.
I just have one thing, if you don't mind. Oh, go ahead. You want a plaque?
Just get your plaque. This is what was in it, but it was also to you too, so you can take that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Somebody wants to talk to you.
Oh, Jimmy, have a seat. You can have a seat. We've been staying a long time. My name's Ron Kruger, and I had the opportunity to work with Jimmy at the Sheriff's Department for 25 years. One thing that you don't know about him, although he had an excellent law enforcement career, he also had a great corrections career. Jimmy started an organization within the jail called the classification system. I didn't know what that was. I had no idea, but Jimmy started it. He did a great job. What that meant to the average person, it really didn't mean a lot, but when you have 1,400 prisoners in the county jail, and when they would come in, we would just throw them up in a cell. Well, what we didn't realize, but Jimmy realized, was we had to classify these people. You just can't throw all these people into one jail cell because it caused problems, and it was a huge safety issue for the corrections officers. Because we would walk into those big dormitory cells, we'd have no idea who these people were. What Jimmy did, came up with this solution, and he started the bureau by himself, and there were a couple others, one sergeant with him, Billy Pace. And what Jimmy would do is when the inmates came in, we'd put them in a holding cell. The next morning, Jimmy came in, he'd interview the prisoners, do a criminal history check on them, make sure that where they would go. So that way, he would move those prisoners over to maximum security, minimum security, or medium security. His program that he started went nationwide. It was so successful, all because of my good friend Jim Sharp.
But if you remember right, those kids that we got working for us, they had to be alerted to what they were looking at, because they had no idea from a 9 to 5 or to a bad guy.
Very good point. Especially the turnover rate in the jail is real high, so if you don't know what that prisoner is all about, you know, obviously it's a safety issue again. But Jimmy, he would classify them all and took care of everything. And like I said, that classification is now nationwide. All jails are using it. It's all because of Jimmy Sharp.
Classification. Awesome.
Thanks, my friend.
You're welcome.
Real quickly, Mike Patrick, I was chief in between Howard and Rich. Jimmy was my detective sergeant while I was chief. I'd like to thank him, congratulate him and thank him because you had my back every day, Jimmy. I appreciate that.
I did.
There wasn't a day that went by where I couldn't give Jimmy a task, and his typical response would be, I'll take care of it, I'll take care of it. And out the door he would go, and it would get done. Macomb County is losing a legend in the law enforcement community with this retirement. And the legend is, like Howard did say as well, a street cop. We need more street cops, and here goes a good one. Jimmy always referred to himself as a street cop. And you were, my friend, you were great. So thank you.
Thank
for
you.
your retirement.
My one story about Armada that you guys probably don't know, but was it Ray Drummond that owned the bar?
Yep.
Jim called me the immigrant.
Yes, yes, he did.
Many times.
So he'd always tell Ray he was going home to the immigrant. Ray had a party, and Jim says, I'm going to bring the immigrant with me. He says, can she speak English? I said, will I be able to talk to her? When he told me that, I was killing him. But yeah, Ray thought I was directly from Italy and I could not speak, and that was my title. I was the interpreter.
I'll say I was so excited when he first brought you to the first Christmas breakfast. Because I'm like, I've got to see the woman that's married to Jimmy. I was happy. And I'm so glad I did.
I was just going to say everybody wanted the cheesecakes. Come on.
Yeah, we did that too, but yeah.
Mary Ann, did you ever get your green card?
No.
But no, yeah, it was like, he thought I couldn't speak English. That's right.
My name's Danny Hall, for the people that don't know me. I was the chief here after Chief Joe, who was one of the best. I've known Jimmy for 50 years, and we've been friends for all that time. And Ron Kruger, knew him when he was a corrections officer, just started on. But as soon as I found out that Jimmy was retiring, I wanted him to come up here because I knew what kind of a man he is. And I'm just proud to be his friend.
Yeah.
I do want to say that you were an asset to this village, and you are one that I could always call my friend.
Back at you.
And I'm sure that you are going to have one heck of a good time in retirement. And as long as Mary Ann says,
You can drive me.
but you do it. Okay? Okay, thank you, Jim.
Thank you,
You're a special guy, Jimmy, because everybody here thinks of you as a friend. Yeah, not just a coworker, not just somebody that they worked with or is married to. But I mean, you were an asset to this community.
I handled every call I ever went on in this place. I don't care what it was. I don't care if it was a rape. I don't care if it was an assault. I don't care if it was a lost puppy. I handled them all the same, and I tried the same for each and every one that I went on.
And you did. Yeah.
I did.
Grateful to have had you.
Thank you.
Michelle, my name is, for you guys who don't know me, I'm Cliff Morgan. I'm one of the new guys here in Armada. Jimmy, I won't hold him liable no more, but I started in a patrol car with Jimmy. We worked several years together on our midnight shift. Jimmy would always talk about his horses and everything like that. So when Jimmy got ready to retire, I asked him, I says, what do you think I should do at the sheriff's office? And if I recall right, Jimmy says, he goes, whatever you do, try to do something with animals. So I got into the K9. So I did K9 for 21 years. So with that, Jimmy, you know, something that happened here in Armada with the April Millsap. So my dog is the one that, okay.
No.
So thanks, Jimmy.
Thank you, Cliff.
Well, it's an amazing turnout.
Sure was.
Stacy, you should get a shot of the whole of everybody out there. Yeah. I mean, it's impressive.
I don't remember everyone.
All for an amazing man.
Yeah, Howard, I looked for yours and I couldn't find it. So. his certificate.
Hey, Jimmy, I did appreciate those rides we would take on occasion. I knew you were on duty, I'd be walking uptown, I'd hear tires on gravel, and I look over and there's the police car and he goes, come on, let's go for a ride. Go for a ride and talk about things. I appreciate that.
I always appreciated your input.
Gee, you guys
I
are
walks
great.
around the
block.
We make laps around the town.
If I may, one more?
Sure.
Okay, so, fairly well known in town, and I got pulled over one time at Four Corners. So, my friend said, Ben, I saw that you got pulled over by Armada police. I said, what happened? I said, they gave me 2 tickets. They gave you 2 tickets? I said, yeah, Jimmy gave me 2 tickets to the hockey game.
Won't
Okay,
be the same.
is there anybody else? Okay, we'll continue on with our meeting.
Thank you all for coming. If anybody wants to leave now, go ahead. Don't feel like.
Thanks a lot, guys. One last for Jim.
We'll be at the cozy if you guys need to find us.
Hey, that sounds like a great idea.
Monday night?
Hey, you guys actually
A little phone call.
Yes. But him, because that's a Corvette.
Back of a truck.
Oh, there
Hey
you
guys,
go.
they're saying the cozy's not open, we might have to find another.
Yeah, maybe the bar and grill's open.
Bar and grill, yep.
Yeah.
Or maybe bar and grill.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
Another couple hours.
Selling cocaine out of there, Chief.
Oh, it's a new owner. Howard?
Mike's not there anymore.
No, I forgot. No, it's a new owner. It's much different.
I don't think he was doing that anyway.
Yeah. So,
Okay, next on the agenda is the administrative reports, the DPW report, August 2023. The F&V report of July 2023 Planning Commission meeting, which is in here, and Commissioner liaison reports. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. Now that the fair is over, we're going to continue to do some searching for our CBDOD concentrations. So I'm looking forward to doing that.
What did you say concentrations?
The CBOD concentrations that pop up like every Monday. So we're going to track it down a little bit better now that, because we had that testing unit up at the fairgrounds all last week.
Yep.
So now we can move it around some more. And then last week I met the new regional manager for the sewer plant, Dan Ballou, and so I look forward to working with him. And that's all I've got right
You
now.
know how to spell balloon?
I do. It's BEAULIEU.
Oh my goodness, I've
Yeah.
never done that. Okay.
So that's all I have right now.
Thank you.
Steve, is Doug still gonna be there, or?
Doug is still working there, but Dan is the regional manager. He'll be in Green City, here, and a couple other places.
He's the guy in charge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Ross, what do you got?
One of those rare occasions.
Really?
I don't have anything.
What? Holy
I got
cow.
one. Just to tell you, we're on track to complete our yearly Eagle mandated water sampling program. We're doing that with the arsenic testing this month. We're a month early. We need to have it all done by the end of September, and trying to get done this month. So everything is on track and everything's looking great.
Good.
That's all I got.
Chris?
Mine's even like 2 today. It's at Lathrop Street. A bid award's already has been done, and now it's a matter of getting bonds and things like that secured, materials, so we can begin the fall construction project.
Okay, very good.
Also in that, I put the letter that we sent to Mark Albrecht regarding the handrail.
And the planning commission meeting minutes are in there, so that's, everybody reads the minutes, that's what was.
Yeah, on to the consent agenda. What is your wishes for the consent agenda?
Mr. Pro Tem President, I ask that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Support.
Paul and Clark. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion's carried. Okay, we don't have any old business, we'll go right into new business. Municipal community credits.
This is actually the smart fund distribution. We do this every year. Usually Jeff White's here.
I'm actually here.
Oh, I'm
tonight.
sorry, okay.
I'm Bonnie McInerney. I'm the Macomb County ombudsperson. So if you do have any questions, I'm happy to answer them, but it's basically the same thing you approve every year.
Yep, same thing we do. So, there's a motion.
We're going to make a motion to allow the clerk to sign the municipal credit, community credit contract and resolution to distribute the FY 2024 municipal credit funds totaling $1,557.00 and the community credit funds totaling $4,578.00 directly to Richmond Lennox EMS.
Support.
Was that you, Chris?
Yeah.
Moved by Dalkey. Supported by Sledge. And we have to have a roll call on that?
Belkey?
Yes.
Sleds?
Yes.
Ballard?
Yes.
Adair?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Shaw?
Yes.
Bonnie, did you sign in on that sheet
No,
right
I
there?
did
Yeah,
not.
could you please do that? Yep.
Okay, next thing up is the DPW garage door. I talked with Dave, and I think he and I are in agreement that we probably should replace that door this year. Is there anyone who'd like to make the motion?
I'll make
Hold on,
a
wait.
motion.
Ann's got it.
Okay.
Is there a reason why we can't wait until the new budget to put that in? I don't see it as an emergency.
The building's got to be at least 30 years old, so the door is itself.
No, the door was replaced in 2013, and it was also repaired in 2021.
I mean, I looked at it from the outside one day, it didn't look bad. Then I stopped by there again, and the door was open, talked to Dave, and I really looked at the bottom of that door, and it's really eating away.
It's eating away.
Thanks again, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
So I'm of the belief, I mean, winter's coming, seal things up good. I think it's not an emergency, but you're gonna have to replace it.
My concern is the salt's corroded this door. So until we get some way of getting the salt away from the door,
You know, with a fiberglass door, I don't know how much expense that'd be.
and so that steel framing.
Oh, that's aluminum frame.
Yeah, aluminum fiberglass.
So,
And I think that a lot of the salt that is there, when they bring the truck in, it runs off and then it runs out, runs underneath the door. So I think that if they could take the truck and the spreader and hose it off outside or take it down to the car wash down there and wash it off, that's gonna save it.
That or, I mean, make sure you sweep out by the door.
Yep.
Just get into a regime of doing this to keep it out of it.
Maintenance.
So,
What are they doing about the hole in the side of the building as far as heat?
that part of the barn is not heated. I mean, the main garage is heated, but that's where the salt storage is, that's not heated. And hopefully when we get a salt dome next year, we'll take care of repairing that wall over there.
So if we put the door in now, we still have the issue of the salt is still in there.
Well, you're gonna always have that because you're gonna be running the dump truck in there to keep it warm or working on it. So they're just have to get into a habit of cleaning things up better.
I would just suggest, like next year's budget, look at things like that. So it can be put into the budget so it's not an issue, you know.
We still have the new barn in the budget for next year.
We're going to.
They haven't put it in yet.
We
We
put it
have
in
Next year,
next year.
yeah.
That'll be January, February, right?
Okay, and obviously, the motion that I have, it's not a 16-inch by
I know, I
12-inch
was gonna
door.
mention that,
It is
yes.
supposed to be a
16
foot mark, so don't read it like that. And it's insulated, not insulate. So I have some typos in my motion.
It's all right. All right, Michelle, so, Mr. President, Pro Tem, I'd like to make a motion to approve the purchase of a 16-foot by 12-foot insulated wood steel sectional garage door with an electric heavy-duty garage door opener at a cost not to exceed $5,720 from FJF Door Sales Company, and to allow the clerk to sign the proposal on behalf of the village.
Support.
It's been moved by Sled, supported by Clark. Any discussion?
Just, Lyle, I'm assuming this is gonna get approved. Just when you advise, or whoever advises Dave of this, Ann is right, that we all gotta do a better job of thinking through what we need as we get ready for the next budget. It is possible to miss things, but Dave should be on top of some of that kind of stuff, unless this is something that's fallen apart in the last 6 months. You've probably seen this coming for a while, so. Just so that we manage the budget appropriately for his concerns.
Tell him right after this meeting, as I usually do.
Okay.
Any other comments? Okay, we'll call a roll.
Sleds,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Belkey,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Baylor.
Yes.
Well, a dare. I need a new stamp.
You can even change your name, Joe.
I'm just gonna, Joe.
I think we're putting the cart before the horse.
Okay.
Motion carried. Motion's carried. Okay. Okay, this is to consider approval of a licensing agreement between the Village of Armada and Foster Blue Water Oil Company LLC for an above-grade diesel fuel tank and supply.
Okay, I just want to talk about this quick. All right, so last time we spoke, I had to send over all the information that Foster helped Dave fill out to the insurance company. I still do not have the cost of the rider.
Okay.
The reason that we kept this on is because we have not been paying to lease that tank from Foster. With this new agreement, we have to lease the diesel tank. Dave did not even fill out the paperwork for the gas tank
So I was gonna ask.
because he wants to see what this comes back as. In his opinion, this is more important, but we've already got it and we've had it on site for years.
Couple of years.
And he said, you know, he's like, well, Foster, they were supposed to be charging us. Well, they haven't, and now it's a cost that we're incurring. So I want you to know that. I mean, I think the motion will be to postpone this, but I wanted you to know right now, this is, I mean.
Because we don't know the liability on it yet.
No.
Exactly.
We
So
don't.
is it to continue, I mean, keeping the tank we got, start paying on it, or we're getting two different tanks?
No, you would start paying on the diesel, and then
And
if
then
we
get
go
another
forward
tank.
with a gas tank at a later date,
Mhm.
we will also be paying a lease
So-
rental on that.
We've got $60
But right
a
now, as long as that's sitting there, Foster's gonna start charging us $60, whether we have the insurance or not. So I'm waiting on the insurance company, they know that we have it. They have the correct address now, and, you know, I just, again, it's a cost that, Dave said we should have been paying it all along, but we have not paid anything all along.
We weren't
It was-
aware of it.
No, I know, we would have, yeah. I
That
would've known.
tank was a carryover from the
From the-
construction
yeah.
down at the sewer.
During
So-
COVID.
so, yeah.
During COVID, and I understand why it was brought over then, because all the gas stations were closed, so I understand that. But I just wanted you to know, I just don't have the insurance rider information yet. We'll have to bring it back to the next meeting, which one of these motions does. But I also just wanted you guys to know there is a cost that's going to be incurred with them.
Is there a back charge for this? Or are they gonna?
No, I think it's
Just
just
going
gonna
forward.
begin, I think, going forward, but I don't know if he's gonna send us a bill this month, like, I don't know,
That's per month, $60 a month?
to rent, to lease it.
It's $60 a month, but it also says in the paperwork that if it's a premium tank, and Becky believes they consider diesel a premium tank. So it could be $90 a month.
Yeah, so I
And
guess
this
we
doesn't
don't know,
include
there's
the
still a
insurance
lot of
cost.
questions.
Well, you have to remember that they have a standard tank and a premium tank, and what a premium tank is, it's like double line.
Double line, yeah.
Yeah.
This kind of stuff, yeah, okay.
Well, just so you know,
You know, in worst case scenario, say the price comes in that we just do away with it. We have to check into seeing how much diesel or gas you can store on site legally and just
well, he
do
sent
that for
over,
emergencies.
because when, all right, so we got the paperwork from the insurance company. I gave it to Dave, Dave said, well, I don't know how to fill this out, so he had Foster do it, help him with it. But when I sent it to Foster initially to fill out, because Dave said he didn't know what to do, so I sent it over to him. Well, they sent it back and said, well, we're not gonna fill that out for you. And they said that, he sent me all the EPA regulations, which I forwarded to Dave, he has all that. And he, I believe, met with Tom from Foster and he helped him fill out the paperwork. But again, I haven't heard from the insurance company, so I'm not even sure if it's all filled out properly, because I don't know anything about, I can't fill the paperwork out.
And they need to just get in the practice of, at the end of their shift every day, to make sure all the
Fill everything
equipment is
up.
filled.
Yeah, I
that
mean,
vehicles
just like
are
the police do.
filled.
Yeah. Put gas in everything before you leave, and that
So
way if
you
something
have an
happens, you're
emergency
not in
during the
trouble.
night, Right,
Right.
everything's filled up.
You're not in
ready to
immediate
go.
trouble, let's put it that way.
Okay, so is it consensus of the council that we table this?
Well, the motion is to
There's the alternate on the
postpone
back
it, yeah,
page.
the bottom,
Yeah.
yeah. So we'll just do that till the next meeting. Jeff will be here. Hopefully I'll have the information from the insurance company and we'll be able to make a decision.
So President Pro Tem, I make a
Yep.
motion to postpone consideration of the licensing agreement between the village and Foster Blue Water Oil Company LLC for one diesel tank to the
9/11.
9/11, September 11, 2023 regular meeting. Support.
And Sleds, okay, it's been moved by Belkey, supported by Sleds, that we postpone the consideration of the licensing agreement between the village and Foster Blue Water Oil Company LLC for one diesel fuel tank to the 9/11 meeting. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion's carried. Okay, let's see, what is that?
Just set the capital.
Set the Capital Improvement Committee, okay.
So President Conan has spoken to everybody that we have listed on here about being on this committee. This was strongly suggested by Doug Skyless, who stopped in the office to let us know he's retiring, so everybody knows. But he had Steve come up, he explained to us the importance of having the committee set and getting some ideas forward and including residents. So this committee does include 2 residents that we have spoken to and that have agreed to serve on it.
Okay, you have a motion before you. What is the council's pleasure?
Mr. President Pro Tem, make a motion to appoint Ann Porter, Steve Clark, Chris Ledz, Amy Barzak, and Mike St. John to the Capital Improvement Committee, with Ann Porter as the point of contact for the engineers and the committee.
Support.
It was moved by Belkey and supported by Shaw to appoint Ann Porter, Steve Clark, Chris Sledge, Amy Barzak, and Mike St. John to the Capital Improvement Committee, with Ann Porter as the point of contact for the engineers and the committee. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion's carried. Proposal for construction engineering related services from Rowe Professional Services Company, and this was submitted by Commissioner Sleds.
Sure asked.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is, right? So it's something that Rowe typically, they'll call it the add-on services. They've done it throughout the, from the first project through this, and that is, additional administrative duties that they can perform for us. Otherwise, in most cases, I'd have to farm it out or do part of it myself. But, so they want to do, and the one would come off of it is the construction staking, because that's the vendor would be doing that. Construction admin for 59 hours, the observation 188, keeping track of everything daily. And then the asphalt density testing at the end, so. With a total of $31,500.
Isn't Mr. President, this with
And it's going to be minus the $29.50, correct?
Okay. Chris, this 31.5 was not included in the budget when we talked about the Lathrop project, correct?
Correct.
So I just want to point out that this now puts us at $67,000 over budget on this project. I got everybody quiet.
Yeah, that was,
It is.
I'm writing, so. You want to gasp?
Just wanted you
Yeah.
to
But
be
if
aware.
we leave it as a not to exceed though.
Yeah, you could, in case something comes up that road does have to do with our construction.
Either one of these hours or something goes up.
And every aspect of this proposal is necessary, crucial, can't do without.
Right.
You could, but at the same time, especially on anything else, when you're looking at overseeing, we're not here when they're putting the first base in, and how they grade the sewer, and then we're just asking for other troubles down the road.
Yeah, you don't want to come up later and find out you had a problem and they did something that should have been caught by the inspectors.
So they'll have an inspector on
They will.
every day.
We've already covered soil erosion. I've got that. We got, we told we don't need to worry about that one, so we got a deviation waiver, from the county and state. But there's a few other, again, it has to do, a lot of these additional inspections and paperwork have to do with the dollar value of the project. You get over the $250,000 range and it opens up a whole lot of other paperwork that goes on. So I do trust the fact that every time I turn around and there's something to sign, or Michelle and I did, that, okay, yes, I we don't know, and I rely on them for that, hey, what is this, how do we do it, what's the purpose here for it? I'm signing this for what,
Exactly.
They've been everywhere we've turned around, they've been, again, it is money though, and somewhat unfortunate, but that's the a la carte you for everything.
And I think we
The
do this on
bridges.
most big projects.
Exactly,
Yeah.
yeah.
Chris, you mentioned something about construction staking. Now, were they gonna do this?
The vendor's gonna, the award at the Diamond is gonna
Okay,
get, that's
so-
part of their award.
So basically, you take $29.50 right off of that then?
Yes, yeah, but like I told Steve, I'm thinking for the motion, just leave it as a not to exceed.
Right.
Because if something happens that they don't, and then Rowe has to, you still be covered.
Right.
You won't have to bring it back. for-
Exactly, or
Right.
hours or whatever they come up.
Because that's a vital thing, because that lays out
You aren't kidding
the
there.
beginning of the
Yeah.
job. And if that doesn't happen,
I would ask that whoever makes the motion to add, and to allow street administrator Sleds to sign on behalf of the village.
And to allow.
I did not
You're right.
include that.
And just a comment that on these large items especially, when they're not, haven't been included in the budget, we need to state that in the motion, that this requires a budget amendment. That, it's not, and when it is in the budget, we should state that this is
As-
already included in the
Yeah.
23-24 annual budget.
We usually do that, but we don't
Right.
usually do what you said at
Right.
first, so, we could just say at the end, this amount will require a budget amendment, or an amendment to the budget.
Right.
And you would just do the budget amendment next meeting, I assume?
Right.
Yeah, we've got a couple
We've
that
got
we
a
need to
couple.
put on there,
Right.
so we're gonna get
And
those
that's what I
done.
would do, I would always mention at the end of the motion, it was done that I'll be bringing back a budget amendment for this item.
Right.
Okay, so the motion now reads
All
to.
right, say Michelle, okay, so I'll make a motion
Yeah,
to approve the proposal from Rowe Professional Services Company for construction engineering related services for the not to exceed amount of $31,500 and to allow street administrator to sign on behalf of the village. This amount requires a budget amendment. Michelle, do you want to put my name in there with it? or-
Yeah, street administrator, yeah,
Alright.
put slides.
Slides.
I just crossed you. So this amount will require an amendment to the budget. Okay. Good.
I'll support that motion.
It's been moved by Sleds and supported by Clark. Is there any discussion?
Again, I have had a number of discussions with Ann about this stuff, so I appreciate where she's coming.
It's this one.
But I think we've got to start doing something with streets. This one's been out there, it's been advertised. Chris has done a lot of work on it. So we're kind of fortunate next year, you got to whip us harder, I guess.
Oh, he said that in a public meeting.
On
camera.
No,
On camera.
Just gave me permission.
I expect it too. And sometimes you just don't anticipate things, but, so that's where we gotta make those decisions to move forward or not, and do the budget. I mean, that's why we're getting paid what we're getting paid.
On the street
Yeah,
project.
doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Right.
Yeah, you
Almost
can't.
have to.
No, right. But I just wanted you to be aware that we are
Yeah.
over budget.
Yeah.
So.
Okay,
All right, so.
any other discussion?
So that's Clark.
Hearing none?
Um,
Call roll.
Sleds,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Adair,
Yes.
Belkey,
Yes.
Ballard.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Upcoming agenda items?
Well, at the next meeting, we'll hopefully have the diesel tank.
Okay. Anything else?
It's not the next meeting, but I talked with Dave, talked with Michelle. We've got this SEMCOG briefing, gonna take about 45 minutes. I just want to hear what you guys think. I would just recommend we do it 25 September, and we meet at 6 o'clock, and end it by 6:45, so we're ready for the meeting at 7 o'clock. That way you don't have to.
That's our next meeting?
No.
The meeting
Last
after.
meetings.
Yeah.
Is that the meeting Curtis is coming to?
It is, that's the
Oh,
auditors.
is that the
audit?
How about we do it the October meeting?
Yeah.
I don't know the date, I don't know it right.
Second.
Yeah, I'll figure it out, but I
Okay.
just wanted to make sure everybody was okay with doing that. It's kind of like we do the budget hearings, just come in and out.
It's
It's a workshop.
If you're
That'll be
available,
the 23rd?
No, it's going to be the first meeting in
Okay,
October.
that's October the 9th.
which, and I'll go back and make sure some guy's able to meet that data.
Okay, anything else? Hearing none, we'll move on to citizens' comments.
We've been abandoned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No citizens' comments, any council comments? Community events?
Got, school's homecoming parade coming up, September 9th,
No, 29.
29.
I just put that through.
September 29th is homecoming?
Yep.
Good one.
And, okay, anything else? There is no closed session tonight. Now entertain for a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Pro Tem?
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep, go Joe.
I never get to do this. Mr. President Pro Tem, I make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 7:58.
Support?
Nicely done.
A motion by Darren,
Was
supported
that
by
you?
Clark.
Okay.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no.
Nah, I have fun.
Oh, no, let's